Welcome everyone to Andre's Basketball World episode number 2. And we have to talk about the second round predictions. This is my predictions. So leave your like, comment, and subscribe down in the comment section. Let me know what you're thinking. What you thinking? So I know what y'all thinking already. Well, Andre, not everybody's done yet. Out east, there's still the Cavs versus the Magic, which are going in 7 games. We'll talk about my prediction about that too, because that is important. Better yet, we'll start that right now. Cavs versus Magic. I've watched about 3 out of the 7 games. I want to say, or was it 4 out of the 7 games? I think I watched either 3 or 4 out of the 7 games between the two. And what I've noticed in this game, right? I know what I noticed about these games. One thing that's very obvious is that both teams at home have been winning at home games. That's the reason why we're going to a game 7. At home, the Cavaliers play better. Of course, they play better, and that showcased it. And then at home, the Magic plays a little bit better. But on the road, it seemed like both teams are not understanding they need to get a win at the opponent's building to solidify their real playoff verse. For the Magic side of things, it's scoring. That's their main thing. Defense is still good. They're doing their best they can defensively. With going against a team like this, especially in the playoff settings and stuff like this, they're still adjusting. You can tell they're still adjusting, getting used to it. Even though we're going to game 7, they're still getting used to playing at against home teams, right? At their opponent's home team, they're still getting used to trying to battle it out, basically battle it out. But when they're at home, Pablo. Sometimes feel like Pablo is taking too many shots. The games I've watched, it seemed like he was just shooting the shots just to shoot the shot, trying to get his scoring going or whatever. And then the other times, it seems like he's not shooting enough. It's kind of weird like that. But all around, I feel like Markel Folks really hasn't played better, which that sucks because I have an agenda to push for Markel Folks. My one of the agendas I was pushing that he was playing good enough and defensively good enough that a team like the Milwaukee Bucks would pick him up as the Magic move away from him. But if he's not going to play good enough, I can't push that agenda. You know what I'm saying? Young point guard in the league that could still be very serviceable for everybody. Both Pablo and Franz Wagner has really been stepping it up big times for them. That's awesome. Jonathan Isaac showcasing his defensive capabilities throughout this entire playoff series. So it's been very, very, very good. Very good to see that. Wendell Carter Jr. really hasn't stepped up that much, which I'm very surprised. I can see that's a player that they might get rid of when it comes into the coming to this off season or so, because I felt like he was a nice centerpiece for them, but now it feels like this team is going at a pace, and when Dale might not be able to catch up, that's a possibility. Um, Mo Wagner off the bench, man, that man, he been giving it to them like it ain't nothing. He been giving it to him. He's been pushing back on them against and stuff. It's awesome. It's really awesome to see. Quite honestly, I'm not gonna lie. It is really good to see him play the way he's been playing. And like I said, this is a young team. So a young team like this, I wasn't expecting them to make the playoffs this year. I don't know about you guys, but I wasn't expecting them to make the playoffs this year. But the fact that they are in the playoffs this year, very impressive. I'm looking at numbers from Wendell. 6.5 points, 6 rebounds, and he's shooting 37% from the field, 20 about 24% from the 3 point line. It's just nah, dog. Nah, nah. Now he could be playing injured. I don't know. I'm not 100%, but that ain't gonna be it. On the Cavaliers side of things, I'm very surprised it's taking the Cavaliers this. I'm surprised they're going to game 7 for the Cavaliers. Quite honestly, I thought the Cavaliers are a better team than the Atlanta Magic, especially fully healthy. I think they're a better team, but for whatever reason, they're having troubles against putting this Magic team away. At home, they do what they do best, but on the road, I've seen that around. I want to say it was either game. I want to say it's game 3 or game 4. I want to say it was game 3 where they stayed. They got to like 74 or 76 or something like that, and they never scored a point for the rest of the third quarter. And it was like, and the Magic just went on a run, and the Cavaliers couldn't do anything. I'm like, what is going on here? And then last night's game, you have Mitchell going off for 50, 54-4, and they still lost. This is the reason why I believe that Mitchell will not resign. This reminds me of last year. Last year in the playoffs, Mitchell was very upset that that the team was not performing at its best. He's like, "This is why I came here for. I'm da 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 da. I left the Jazz team because we couldn't do X, Y, Z. Now I'm here on this team that's better than that Jazz team, arguably. Arguably, I think they're better because they got a little bit more firepower. Like I left that team and I'm here, and it's like I'm repeating itself or stuff. Even though he had a bad series last year, if I'm not mistaken, he had like one good game, and the rest of the games was nothing against the Knicks. So here he does it. He's doing it again. 50 points, 50-point game, putting up some good scoring numbers and stuff, and then they're struggling against the Magic when they're on the road. I just don't understand what's going on here. And if this is the case, neither one of these teams are going to be able to go up against Boston, who this is a team they will be playing against in the next round. Whoever comes out of this, they're not beating Boston. Now, Porzingis is out. I don't know how long he's going to be out, but they're getting rest time at this point, as Game 7 is tomorrow? Game 7 is tomorrow. So they're going to have rest time and stuff, waiting to see who's wins this Game 7. And then that team has to go on to play against this Boston Celtics team. Let's say they're fully healthy with or without Porzingis, and it doesn't matter. They're going to smack them. The Celtics is going to smack them. Assuming that 5 games, same thing they did with the Heat, in my personal opinion. So, and then that happens again. Whether the Magic gets out, the Magic can match up against the Celtics better, because we saw was it last year? Last year they the Celtics had problems against the size of the Magic against this the Celtics had size up against the Magic, and I assume that'd be the case here again. The Cavaliers on the other side of things, offensively, I would say they can bang, but I don't know. This series against this Magic team, I know it's all about matchups in the playoffs. This series against this Magic team really is exposing a lot of things from the Cavaliers, and I could see that affecting them if they play against the Celtics. So it doesn't, like, my personal opinion, doesn't matter. If the Celtics play against the Cavs, I think they could beat the Cavs in 5, maybe even swept them. But I'm gonna go with 5. I'm giving 5 games. The Celtics like, all right, get off the floor. You're not even a playoff team. Against the Magic, on the other hand, I think that's going to take at least six games probably, because the Magic, I think they match up perfectly against the Celtics. So if you're a Celtics fan, who you want to have? I think you'd rather have the Cavaliers than you want the Celtics. In my personal opinion, that's my personal opinion though, because the Celtics match up against the Cavs. Drew Holiday is most likely going to be on Donovan Mitchell, and that's lockdown city. Let's be honest right now. Lockdown city. You're gonna have Derek White on Darius Garland, who he's iffy. He's iffy. He's iffy. He's iffy. He's iffy in the playoffs right now. He's so. He's solid. You're gonna have the 2 guys in the front court. If Porzingis is healthy, then that doesn't mean anything, right? That doesn't mean anything. That means they'll just, if they wanted to, they'll just run double bigs and bring Al Horford back into the starter lineup, or they tell Xavier Tillman to start and handle Jared Allen. One of the others happening. They can go bigger, and then Jason Tatum be running around to him and Jaylen Brown, who's going to defend them on the other side. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things. That's why I say I think the Celtics just a better all around team against a team like the Cavs. While the Magic can match them defense for defense. Jalen Suggs on Drew Holiday, or he's on Derek White, or potentially he has the no, he wouldn't have these he wouldn't have the what do you call that? He wouldn't have the Jalen Brown or Jason Tatum matchup, because then they'll just have Jonathan Isaac on Tatum. I'll assume Isaac on Tatum and stuff like that. So it's a lot more difficult matchup, in my personal opinion. That's just my personal opinion. I think Boston gets whoever. I think they win in 5 or 6, depending on whoever they win against. Between Cavs and Magic, it's going to be Cavs at home, so I'm assuming the Cavs is going to win and close out the series. It's going to be it's going to be another tough battle, but I think that's the way the series has been. That's what's going to happen. Whoever wins at home is the winner. So the Cavs at home, they're going to win. They're going to win. Next up, we have the Knicks versus the Pacers. So we got to talk about their first round matchups and what they did and how these two going to go against each other. The Pacers defeated the Milwaukee Bucks. The Bucks losing the first round again. This is I came in to claim that as a real victory for them. Yes, this is a good victory for them because they still had to show up and play in front of them. I always said that no matter what the team is, you still got to play. You still got to show up and play basketball. No matter who you're going against, you still got to show up and play basketball. The Pacers, that's what they did. They that's what they had to do. That's what they had to do. Hey, that's what they did. Tyrese Brunson didn't really have a crazy playoff run just yet. Just yet. I'm assuming in this next series he potentially can. Potentially. I'm not 100. I'm definitely not 100%. They bench players, TJ McCollum and Oben Toppin both put up a 20 piece to help close out the Milwaukee Bucks. I think we already knew what this was going to be. I think this is already knew what it was going to be. Bucks and Bucks and Pacers with no Giannis. Dame missed like 2 or 3 games. The Bucks is just old. Let's be honest. The Bucks is just old, and the Pacers are younger and they are more hungry at this moment. So we'll definitely see how they'll perform in the second round. Eyes is going to be on Tyrese to see what he does in this next round as his first playoff performance and stuff. This is his. I'm gonna check out his stats while I'm talking actually because I don't know what he put up this year. What he put up in the first round, but definitely eyes is going to be on Tyrese Halliburton because you got people who are ready to crown him the next best thing since sliced bread, and then you got others pushing back on it like, hold the fuck on now, hold up, let's see what we're doing, hold up. It's gonna be that's I mean, like I said, with no Giannis, I didn't see the Bucks winning it because that's like, yeah, now Dame is your main guy, and I was like, yeah, I'm cool on that. I ain't gonna lie, I'm cool on that. Tyrese, 43% from the field, 29% from the 3-point line on 9 attempts. He only went to the free throw 1 time a game. 16 points, 6 rebounds, 9.5 assists. That's something I'm not surprised about. I'm not surprised about that stat because that sounds like a past first point guard stat line. Not really an elite scoring, having other guys score the ball. He was just playmaking and assisting his way to help the team win. I'm not surprised about that at all. That doesn't surprise me. Those stats does not surprise me at all. 0%. But I'm interested to see how this Pacers team will match up against this Knicks team. The Knicks defeated the 76ers. Now, I know a lot of pushback will be, well, Joel wasn't 100%. Oh, we didn't have Joel. He's not 100%. And if we had 100% Joel, it'd be a different series. I don't know. I don't know because he was still unstoppable. He was still unstoppable out there. He was still out there playing basketball. I think if you're on the court, that means you're good to play. I know that's just the rules of basketball. If you're on the court, that means you're good to play. If you're not good enough to play, go sit down. Go stay at home. If you're on the court, you can play basketball. Joel, when I'm watching the game, Joel would dominate 3 quarters. That fourth quarter, it really did seem like he wasn't trying to play basketball no more. He was just tired. And he wanted somebody else to step up and take over. And that's not how the Sixers played this year. The Sixers played based off of Joel Embiid and how Joel Embiid played basketball. You can't tell me throughout the whole year that you played that we're given all the offense, a lot of the offense comes from you, and then everybody else get theirs. And then the fourth quarter comes, you're no longer going to score. You're no longer going to defend. You're no longer going to try to rebound. You're no longer going to do anything. You just want to relax, and you tell everybody else to do it. You got to say that has to be established in the beginning, which wasn't established in the beginning. Another first round out for Joel Embiid Sixers. If you haven't had them questions yet, I've been having them questions. How long do we? How long this goes on? How many years more? How many more years you want to go on with this? Every year's an excuse. In 2018, when they made the playoffs, they won the first round. They lost in the second round to Boston. In 2019, they got bounced out in the second round after Kawhi Leonard hit that shot. In 2020, they lost in the first round. Ben Simmons injury, understandable, but still, you got swept in the first. You got swept in the round in the first round. Didn't even come close to. I mean, didn't even pinch the motherfucker. You got swept. In 2021, they lost in the 2021. Was that? I don't know. They lost. Let's don't know how they lost. Was against Boston. I don't know who they lost to. It was 21. The Atlanta Hawks. I thought 21 was. Let me see. 21's. Yeah, 21 was the Atlanta Hawks, wasn't it? Yeah, 21 was the Atlanta Hawks game. Everybody points to Ben Simmons one little shot, but the game shouldn't have been that close in the first place against the Atlanta Hawks. In 2022, they added James Harden, and they said, "Oh well, they didn't get acclimated enough. Acclimated enough to win the first round. The second round lost to Miami. In 2023, lost against Boston again. 2024, this time you lose to the New York Knicks. So that's seven different playoff series, 7 different playoff series that they lost. And everyone keeps saying Joel's been hurt. Joel's been hurt. That's when we tax players. Do we not tax players from being hurt all the time? Are we not taxing Kawhi Leonard for being injured 24/7 every time the playoffs run around? He's not healthy enough to play in them. Do we not tax players throughout NBA history who, when the game, when we get to the playoffs where we need you to come and you're injured, does that not affect them? Do we not talk bad about those players that they cannot hold up when it comes to the playoffs? Don't we disregard? I mean, don't we downgrade NBA players because of injuries history? So I'm pretty sure we do. I'm pretty sure throughout the NBA history. I'm pretty sure if every year, let's say like this, I'm pretty sure if every single year in the playoffs, if the great LeBron James or Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant or Magic Johnson or Tim Duncan or even Bill Russell back in the day or Kareem back in the day, any one of those all-time great players, any great player ever, any player ever, MVP, every MVP ever. If those players in 7 different playoff series, they are injured every single time, and that's an excuse, what are we doing? We're like, they're a good player. They're a great player. They're not on this echelon of players because you keep getting hurt. We can't depend on you. We only depend on you for partial. We can only depend on you for what 50, maybe 60 games of the year, and then the playoffs run around and you're still hurt and you're recovering and you're still trying to play basketball and you're not the same basketball player and we supposed to pull back. We don't pull back. Can you imagine this year if he did not get hurt? Let's say he didn't get hurt. Let's say he hit the 65 mark and he still got injured, right? He still had the injury, but he hit 65 games. He was going to be MVP again. He'd have been a back-to-back MVP player. And then the back-to-back MVP player is hurt and he gets into the first round in the playoffs, still recovering along with all this other stuff. And instead of just sitting it out because he shouldn't be on the floor, instead, he's forcing himself to play basketball. And then he forces himself to play basketball. He doesn't play like his MVP self, and they get bounced out in the first round anyway. So it's like, what are we doing? This also goes on organization. Why would you let an injured player like that, your MVP player, why would you do that? The best thing you should have done was just tell him he can't play in the playoffs and say, forget it. We're not rushing you back. You're not coming back to play basketball. But they were so desperate at doing that, they brought him back. They brought him back for what, 8 to 10 games left in the season because they was that desperate to have him. This process in the 76ers, mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. On the Knicks side of things, the team that actually won the series, it was a crazy series. We had Jalen Brunson breaking Knicks records, scoring 47 in a game, which now he leads the Knicks. I mean, now he has the Knicks most points in the playoff game. Jalen Brunson did that with the playmaking and assist making. Players stepping it up. Some players stepping up, not all of them stepping up. I was really surprised about some of the players. Josh Hart, he came by a bucket. He's rebounding the ball like crazy. OG plays solid. I mean, basically he's played decent. Let's go with that. OG played decent. He has some good moments. He has some really good moments throughout the series too. This is a series I also watched very closely. I was damn near watching every single one of them, quite honestly. Let's be honest here. Mitch Robinson injured and came back. He was coming off the bench. He was doing Mitchell Robinson things, which is defensively and rebounding. Isaiah Hardenstein really surprised me, quite honestly, because I didn't think he was. I just didn't think he can hold his own. What was it? Might have been game 5. Was it game 5? Game 5 or game 4? It might have been game. It might have been game 4. Game 4 when game 4 whenever Embiid. Hardenstein had no fouls. He had no fouls. Picked up 5 fouls in the third quarter alone. I was like, yeah. I said, yeah, that's just trying to. It's the pecking order, right? It's the MVP level player in Joel Embiid, and then you have pretty much a role player in Hardenstein, right? MVP's up here. Here's your role player, and that's the difference into the skill sets and how to manipulate the defense and how to get your buckets and get them fouls and get you in foul trouble. It's just sometimes you just can't handle. But he did play solid though. He did play solid in game six. He played really good, really good. I was very proud of him. The little hooky left shot. I was like, okay, let me find out. Let me find out. You throwing up the little shots they going in. Okay, I see you. I see you. I see you. Precious Achua. I'm surprised he don't get enough. Get a little bit more minutes because he did pretty solidly, in my personal opinion, when he was out there on the floor. You know what I'm saying? I know Tom Thibodeau. He likes running compacted lineups. He keep his starting five in there as much as possible. He'll just place five players, maybe six, maybe seven. He might do that. I do want to see him expand more a little bit on that bench a little bit, especially some of the when it came to the big guys matchups because I feel like Pressure True would definitely deserve a little bit more minutes in my personal opinion. I think he definitely deserves a little bit more minutes. Give him a different look out there at times. Dante DiVincenzo played pretty solid too. McBride, he was all right. He's definitely all right. I might be missing some players for the Knicks. I feel like the Knicks have way more players than that. That Thibodeau's like, we're not doing that. So that's why I was like, Like I understand because no Julius Randle, so you have to make do what you got to do. The run like this that the Knicks are making, it does kind of make you feel like Julius Randle is very expendable. I'm just saying. I was gonna let y'all go. I'm gonna let y'all know that right now. Uh, is Alex Burks part of the team? I didn't know Alex Burks was part of the team. I didn't know that. If he's part of the team, he's definitely should have gotten some minutes. Veteran player that can play, that been in the playoff, been in a handful of playoffs throughout his career. Yeah, he should definitely have played that. Yeah. Yeah. Nope, he didn't play at all. That's crazy. Hmm. Hmm. But I think a player like that who's known to be a 3-point sniper, I thought he would definitely get some minutes, but unless he's injured, unless I'm mistaken, like I am mistaken, because it look like he ain't on this no more. What you know, just run a little bit more lineup. So the Pacers versus the Knicks in a 7-game series, I wasn't moved by what the Pacers did because they played against an injured team. So here against this Knicks team, I really don't see how the Pacers can outmatch the Knicks in this playoff series. Tyrese versus Jalen Brunson, two good playmakers, but Brunson showcased that he can make his shots. Tyrese really haven't tried to make too many of his shots. Like I said, he's find himself in a pass first point guard role so far in the first round of the playoffs. So we're gonna see how did he adjust to this, how he adjusts to doing something different other than just playmaking. And then you have role players versus role players. They got Siakam, but Siakam versus OG, I would assume that'd be the matchup. Take you back to the Toronto days between those two. I think Mitchell Robinson getting more rest now. That is add the front court lineup where Miles Turner's gonna struggle. I can see Miles Turner struggling. I I'm taking the Knicks. I'm taking the Knicks over the Pacers. 6 games. 6 games. 6 games. I think it's another 6-game series. I'm trying to think of other ways where the Pacers could win that, but uh I got the Knicks. The Knicks is rolling. I think got the dog fight like this against the 76ers. I think that just boosts these players' mindset, their egos and stuff. Like, man, we beat the 76ers, and that was a tough fight. That was a hard fight. We almost went to 7. That was a hard fight. We can beat the Pacers, who they're gonna be difficult to deal with on the offensive side because they're gonna do what they do on the offensive side. But on the defensive side, we should be able to lock. But us, they ain't gonna be able to slow us down. And I think that's going to be the big factor. I think the factor is going to be that the Pacers can't slow down the Knicks, and the Knicks can slow down the Pacers at the times they need to slow them down. And I think right there, that would be the ballpark. Got the Knicks in 6. This was set up the Eastern Conference Finals between Celtics and Knicks. So we'll talk about the conference finals once we get there. Of course, we'll set that up. But yeah, shout out to the East. I wish y'all had. I wish everybody was fully healthy Everybody, Julius Randle, Embiid, um, Bogey. I wish everybody in the East was healthy when the playoffs started, fully healthy, and it would definitely be interesting because even higher narratives is pushing this still would have happened. That'd have been even more crazy, but that's just me. That's the East side. Let's jump over to the West. I spend a lot of time on the East. I usually do. I usually spend less time on the East than the West, so I want to give the East their little props. On the West side of things, man, oh man, I guess I should start with my favorite team, the Oklahoma City Thunder. We got the Mavericks. We got the Mavericks. I ain't want the Mavericks. I ain't gonna lie. I don't want them. I didn't want the Mavericks. I wanted the Clippers. And the only reason why our matchup problems against the Mavericks. Well, never the first time we played against the Magic, the first time I can remember is the Mavericks versus the Thunder, right after the trade deadline. And they added PJ Washington and they added Daniel Gafford. They destroyed us. It was nasty work. And Luka did whatever he wanted to. I didn't like that. So now here in this series once again against them again, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Shea played solid. Played good. He played good he played good. I think he put up, if I'm not mistaken, he put up like 24 points per game or something like that for the playoffs this year. Of course, I'm gonna take a look. Shea did solid against the Pelicans, and Herb Jones was his main defender. So here against the Mavericks, it would be who? It would be, I don't know. I have to take a look at that. But Shea, outside of I guess the last game or so, Shea pretty. He did his thing. He did his thing. He did his thing. It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny and kind of weird how NBA fan bases are because they're like, oh, we gotta see Shea and Hud. I was like, yeah, no, this is his third time Shea been in the playoffs, right? It just he hasn't been on this level just yet. That's all. That's the only differences. But Shea, 47% from the field, 29 from the 3-point. You gotta stop shooting threes, my boy. Getting to the free throw line 8 times a game, but only hitting 72% of his free throws. I don't understand that one. 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 1.5 steals, almost a block. 27.5 points per game. That's good. 27.5, 6 and 5, 1.5 steal, 1 block. This turned down the 3-point. Let's turn that down. Let's turn that down. Get better at your free throws. I don't know how you go from 87 in a regular season to 72 in the playoffs. I don't understand that one. But pretty much he's about close to 30 points a game again. He's pretty much close to 30 points a game. So if I'm not mistaken, let me see what I gotta see the Dallas Mavericks and who they've been starting at the forward position because it's not gonna be Luka or Kyrie guarding Shea, right? No, I'm pretty sure that's not gonna be the case. For the Mavericks, who do they have starting? Because I did not watch any of those Clippers and Maverick games. I said the Mavericks is gonna beat the Clippers. I said it's just the rules. I said it was just the rules. I said the Mavericks were a better team. I said last time they met up, they beat them. The Clippers did. That's because it was still Luka doing Luka things. I said now with Kyrie Irving, what a better front court, what a better roster than he had, arguably. I said there's nothing the Clippers can do no matter what. I said them fools will have to return all back to their primes to deal with this Mavericks team. I wasn't lying. James Harden gonna have to be Houston Rockets James Harden 2015 version or something of 2013 James Harden Houston Rocket. Paul George will have to go back to the indie days defensively. Kawhi Leonard will have to be healthy. He go back to his defensive player of the year days. And then Russell Westbrook just had to be the greatest 6 man that came off the bench or something. And none of that was going to happen. That's going. Derek Jones Jr. So I'm assuming it's going to be Derek Jones Jr. and Josh Green, and then eventually Dante Exum is going to get the Shea matchup. I guarantee you that. Kyrie's going to be on Luke Dort. I think Kyrie's going to be on Luke Dort, and it's going to leave Luka on Josh Giddey. And around, oh wait. No. Because J Dub's still out there. Man, I didn't drop my headphones. My fault. JW is still out there. Wait. Sam Presley, not Sam Presley. Mark Dagnall. Pay attention. Pay attention. This is your part. Here's my idea. You're not gonna do it because I'm a fan, so you ain't gonna do it. I will push Josh Giddey to the bench. To the bench. Shea, Luke Dort, J Dub. I will bring in Chet and then have it be Yambo or Muscala. One of those two big guys need to be starting next to Chet to start the series, to start this matchup against the Mavericks. It only makes sense. Big versus big. Make sure our lineup is big because Mike Muscala could still, if it's Mike Muscala, he can still stretch the floor out, hit the threes, hit the mid range shot. He can still do that. He can still rebound. And then if it's Biyombo, at least he can protect the rim and grab the rebounds that Daniel Gafford couldn't get. That's my idea. He's not going to do that idea, but that's the idea I run. Josh Giddey, you bring him off the bench and you run him with Casey Wallace, Isaiah Joe. Then you have Giddey. Then you have Jalen Williams. That's the four I would bring off the bench. I run a 9-man this time, or in Gordon Hayward at times, but I would run a 9-man. That's what I would do. If it gets scary, then the other guy, whether that's Biyombo or Muscala, should be playing next to Jalen Williams too. So that's my idea. My idea is to run that. Josh Giddey solid 12 points off the bench, but against his Mavericks team, got to do something different. We got to do something different. And I would say match him up size with size. That's my part. That's my thing. Match him up size with size. I think we had a good run. I know, right? You ain't a Thunder fan. You don't got us winning? No. 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 Mm-mm. I said I wanted the first. I mean, we took the first seed. I'm fine with the first week. We got the Pelicans. I was happy with that because I knew we could beat the Pelicans. We swept them. The anything else after that, I don't really see us winning type deal. If it was the Clippers, we could beat the Clippers. Oh, we could dominate the Clippers. This is the Mavericks. I didn't think the Mavericks were going to lose to the Clippers, so I'm not surprised the Clippers is here. I mean, the Mavericks are here. Now, I could be completely wrong. We could somehow shut the door on the Mavericks in 6 games. That'd be crazy. That'd definitely be crazy. Because that happens, I don't know what to say about basketball anymore. I'll just stop talking basketball. Quite honestly, I'll stop talking current day basketball. I'll just talk about the past. If the Thunder beats the Mavericks in the playoffs, mark my words, this channel will no longer be talking about current day basketball. I would talk about basketball from the past. Yes, I would not longer talk about current day basketball because I don't know basketball after that. I don't know my team after that. I'll just talk about past stuff. We'll talk about old finals and what these players were doing. I'll talk about that. That's it. That's my thing. I can clip this and all that. If my Thunder can beat the Mavericks in the playoffs, I don't care if it's 6 games, 7 games, 5 games, somehow sweeping them fools. If they beat the Mavericks, this channel will no longer be a current day. This won't just be a normal basketball channel. It will go talking about the history of basketball. We'll just do that. We'll do that. That's it. That's all I gotta say. I love my Thunder, but I have to be realistic, right? You got to be realistic talking about your team. Realistically, I don't think we can win. That's just realistically. On the other side of the bracket tonight, the Nuggets versus the Timberwolves. Y'all saw my last video. If you didn't know, I went live. I got the Wolves beating the Nuggets, dog. The fear why? Because the Nuggets bench ain't know nothing. That's my big reason. The Nuggets bench ain't know nothing. I knew that was gonna be a big issue. I knew it. I knew it would be a big issue because I was thinking about it when the off season coming around. They don't do nothing. It's very similar. A lot of teams that win a championship, they can lose members. They can lose core members, players that actually played a big role for them. They lose those members. They would not replace them. They will not replace them. And then they have other players on the bench. They just don't want to play. I don't know why. I always assume that after winning a championship, your first year winning the championship, the next thing is you know what your guys can do. You need to figure out the rest of your team. That way you can have a deeper bench. That way you can go deep into your rotations when you need to. And for whatever reason, especially current day era, they seem like they move away from that. It's crazy. It's kind of weird to me. So the Nuggets is one of those teams that did this. The Nuggets kept their five. Bruce Brown is gone. Jeff Green is gone. They let Thomas Bryant go, or they traded him. I'm pretty sure they let him go. They let him go. Wasn't playing on minutes. And on the bench, we're supposed to be expecting Christian Braun to step up. He didn't do anything in the first round. Peyton Watson didn't do anything important. They got Zeke Naji, who just don't play minutes. I don't know why DeAndre Jordan gets those minutes over him. Reggie Jackson gets minutes, and he's clearly done. He's been done, in my personal opinion. He's been done for a little bit. So I think their bench is going to be their threat. So they're going to rely heavily on their starting lineup. And we just saw what the T-Wolves just did to the Suns. The T-Wolves smack-a-dackle of them. So KCP get the Anthony Edwards assignment. I think, in my personal opinion, in the game of basketball, there's levels to players. KCP is a nice role player. Really solid role player that can get you 12 points shooting threes. I think he's a good defensive player. However, Anthony Edwards is rising to that level where he's going to be unguardable. Only person that's stopping him is himself. And he's in the mix of that right now. After that first round series, he's in the mix of that. KCP can't slow him down. I don't think KCP can even stop him. He can't do anything. Make it difficult if you want to. I don't think he has it. He does not have it, in my personal opinion. Mike Conley versus Jamal Murray is going to be a little fun matchup, as long as Jamal Murray's good. I'm assuming both of these teams are fully healthy, by the way, too. Jamal Murray for Mike Conley is going to be nice. It's going to be a battle of veteran point guard and Mike Conley versus the younger Jamal Murray, who's making his name for himself. Is going to be interesting. I am assuming that Michael Porter Jr., who had a really good first round matchup, but now he got McDaniels potentially on him. He's not getting those free shots like that no more. And then the front court battle royale, Aaron Gordon has to somehow have to contain Karl Anthony Towns for stopping. So you have to contain him, and then Gobert has to do his best on Jokic, which Jokic is going to bring him out the paint. Could open up the floor, but this Wolves team is better defensively, in my personal opinion, way better defensively, and doesn't have as many question marks. And I also believe they got a couple guys off the bench that will give them extra scoring. And unlike the Lakers, they are a lot better. In my personal opinion, they're a lot better. I think they just had their night. Now, of course, I would not be surprised if the Nuggets do beat the Timberwolves. I mean, the Nuggets are the defending NBA champions, and I assume that they, after beating them last year, took them 6 games. I think they're like, oh yeah, we could just do this again, blah blah blah. It was like, you ain't got Bruce Brown and Jeff Green that was part of your big time rotation last year. Christian Braun or Peyton Watson haven't stepped it up this year yet. So what's the difference? Nas Reed off the bench is guaranteed to give you 14 points off the bench, 13 points off the bench, and like 6 rebounds. That's guaranteed. Who's matching that production off the Nuggets bench that's going to be doing that? 13 and 6, right? That's rebounds or assists. 13 and 6. That's all they needed. I mean, it's going to be a good battle. Like I said, I got the Wolves winning, dude. I really don't. Like I said, the Nuggets can win, of course, off the strength of Jokic and all that stuff can just go out the window. And they're like, yeah, whatever. We play basketball here. We do whatever we want to. Cool. I'm wrong. I think the Wolves get them. And if the Wolves get them, the Mavericks beat the Thunder. Mavericks versus Wolves would be interesting. The Thunder versus the Wolves would be fantastic. The Thunder versus the Nuggets will also be fantastic. The Nuggets versus the Mavericks, God, goddamn. You know what I'm saying? Those are just my predictions. So my predictions is the Celtics beat. It don't matter who, Cavs and Magic, doesn't matter. The Celtics win. I think I got the Knicks coming out beating the Pacers. like I said, somehow if the Thunder win, but I don't think so. I got the Mavericks beating my Thunder. I got the T-Wolves beating the Nuggets. Game 1 starts. Nuggets and T-Wolves are tonight. Starts here. It starts later on tonight. Y'all make sure you hit that like, comment, and subscribe. Comment down below who you got winning the second round of these wonderful playoffs. And tell me how y'all join the playoffs this year. And I'll catch you guys on the next video.